Test. Hey, test. Is it working fine? Seems like it. Change the microphone. Maybe it's slightly better now. Test. Test. All right. Okay, so let me just close the other stream. Okay, so this stream is all right, finally we're getting somewhere. Yeah, sorry about this. Everything was planned fine, but so I use this software called OBS, and yeah, I think there's something that OBS doesn't like about me, because basically 50% of the time just something happened exactly at the last moment, like just spend all day to prepare and just anyway. So here, where are my notes? My notes. All right, Julian. So, okay, everything is fine, right? Everything is fine. Okay. So, welcome to this training on how to start your blockchain career in 2024. I'm sorry about the wait, but finally we made it. So I'm super excited to see so many people here, and we're gonna spend about 1 hour together, and you will know exactly the roadmap that you need to follow step by step to become a blockchain developer in 2024. So first, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So let me know where you guys are from. So Zaki, Balamuragan, Rhapsodian, Danishta, Abdul Zarak, Bliss, K, Koasi, right, PPLO, where you guys are from? Let me know where you guys are from. So we have PPLO, Web3 developer. What do you say? Please saying almost need a Web3 job, then you are in the right place. All right, Zaki, I've been in the crypto space since 3 years and I have zero coding knowledge. I'm from a low background. How long would it take me to learn coding to be a Web3 dev? Okay, so I'm gonna address all the questions at the end. But this is awesome. You guys keep posting in the chat. Kai, USA, from Somalia, India, Poland, Colombia. Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to share my presentation. Just give me one sec. So share my screen. Let me see. Share screen. All right. So you guys should see my screen now. So should be visible. Yeah, should be visible in a sec. Okay. So today I'm going to cover my story. So how I ended up in blockchain. Then I'm going to cover the job market for blockchain and Solidity. And I'm also going to cover the roadmap to learn Solidity, including the prerequisites. I'm going to cover how to make money with blockchain and Solidity. And after, I'm going to introduce my Solidity bootcamp. And finally, we're going to do the question at the end. So I see a lot of questions in the chat, so don't worry, guys. This is going to come at the end. Okay. So let's continue. So first, my story. So I'm Julian from France. And so as you can see, I use every cliche about French people, the baguette, the bike. Yeah, and I look like this every day. No, of course not. But basically, when I started my career, I dropped my baguette and I flew to Hong Kong. And that was amazing. And I started in finance. So I was working over there on top floor, and I loved it. And I wanted to be like this guy. I wanted to be the Wolf of Wall Street and make a ton of money and have a ton of fun. But unfortunately, I fell and I ended up like this guy from Lehman Brothers who got fired. So I didn't really make it in finance, but that's okay. That's okay because after that, I started to travel. I went all over Asia, Taiwan, or Indonesia, all the places, Thailand, etc. And I started to meet a bunch of digital nomads, so people who work online. And I was like, wow, it's pretty cool. I never heard about this before. Um, and and so they really sold me the dream of coding. And so I decided to learn coding. So I learned by myself. There was no bootcamp, no outside help. And looking back, it wasn't really the best choice because it took me a lot of time to do all of this by myself. But anyway, I made it. And for the first few years, life was okay. I loved my job. But so PHP, WordPress, etc. But the problem is like I wasn't making a lot of money. Really, you have shitty clients with with WordPress and PHP. This is not great. I was just struggling, going from small job to another small job. I was always hustling really hard, and it wasn't really great. So next, I decided to get a full-time job, and I had three criteria for my full-time job. I wanted it to be six-figure, remote, and I wanted it to be interesting. This for me was extremely, extremely important. I really wanted those three criteria. So I really applied everywhere, but I didn't hear anything back, or if they answer, it was just a polite rejection letter. And this feeling, just you feel like nobody's listening to you, you feel desperate, you don't know if it's really worth it to continue. So yeah, that was me for a long time. And so I realized that I needed to be a little bit strategic. So there was really two things that were key. The first is that I had to specialize in a technology. And the other one is that I needed to build my personal brand so that I could get some name recognition and find my first job. So for the specialization, I picked blockchain and especially Solidity. And for my personal brand, I basically built it by using mainly YouTube and also LinkedIn. And this combination was super powerful because just in 3 months, I started to be bombarded by job offers. So that was insane. Like, what a change can it make when you have the right strategy? It was really absolutely amazing. And so in the end, I got exactly what I wanted. I got a six-figure job, remote and interesting. And so I started to do some presentation, different places. This is me doing a presentation in London. And yeah, that was really amazing. All of a sudden, I was an in-demand expert. Okay, so that was my personal story. And so all of this is great, but what about now in 2024? Can we still get a job like this? So first of all, I wanted to clarify one thing because this presentation is about blockchain, how to start your blockchain career in 2024, but I talk a lot about Solidity. So Solidity is the programming language that is used in smart contracts. Smart contracts are like basically the small program that are the core of blockchain application. And there are many things you can do in blockchain, but Solidity is really the expertise that is the most in demand, the most rare on the market, the best paid, except maybe smart contract security, but it's a little bit more advanced. And so instead of trying to learn everything about blockchain, which really takes a lot of time, this is much better to focus just on Solidity. So this is why I will really mostly talk about this in this presentation. All right, so here is the market, the general context. So crypto in general, the bull market has started. So the price of Ether is going up like crazy, Bitcoin, etc. You arrive exactly at the right time. Also, we have the crypto ETF that were released earlier this year. So that is going to unleash, this is going to release a huge wave of money into crypto, which is ultimately will translate into more jobs for Solidity and blockchain developers. So super, super bullish. Then interest rates are at the top of the cycle. So, interest rate moves in cycle. We are at the top, which means that sometime later this year, they're expected to go down, which will further fuel the equity market, which will further fuel the crypto market, which in the end is good for us. So really a lot of signs point to a bull market, which has already started. So now the question is, okay, so how many blockchain jobs there is? So for that, you can estimate that by going in some crypto job boards. So there are a couple of them, but one I like is web3.career. Another I like is crypto job list. So you can check how many jobs there are. So for example, here there's 3,500 Solidity jobs. But this is just a very small part of the market because like for any other job market, most of it is hidden. It's not, you will not find it on those job boards. So you have actually way more possibilities that what you have here. So now let's talk salary, how much you can make as a blockchain dev. So look, you will see different numbers depending on who you ask. So there's no need to argue too much. You really have to see the long-term potential. But generally, I was able to place my student at around 100K. So that's when you take into consideration everything, the fixed part and the bonus. Personally, when I started, I had a fixed part of about 70K plus I had a 30K bonus. So each situation is different. You'll find junior that start a little bit less, but 100K, if you have a good profile, it's doable. Then average 130K, maximum, I put 250K, but actually if you specialize in security, you can go even higher than this. But what's really important is really to see the long-term perspective. Okay, so don't start to nitpick and say, "Oh, Julian, no, I heard a guy made just 90 or 80." Who care? Who care? We are talking of high salary. Okay, so ultimately, if you stay in this industry in 4 or 5 years, you can make 7-figure or even faster. Personally, I made 7-figure in crypto just with my Solidity skill in 3 years. All right, so so the general context is really, really positive. And yeah, and so basically that's a really good thing. And there is the reason why there is this imbalance is because the reason why those salaries are so high is because there is an imbalance between the demand and the offer. And if you go on YouTube, sometimes you'll find like a lot of junior are very negative. They say, "Oh, like Solidity job are hard to get, etc." Well, that's because if this is your first tutorial and you have no skill, yes, of course, this is going to be hard. But if you can get some professional help, it can really, really speed up the process. If you know what to focus on, for example, Solidity, and even inside Solidity, there are different ways to learn it. So if you learn it very strategically, then you can build this very, very valuable expertise. So beside the salary, because salary is nice, but this is not everything, right? We also care about the condition of work. So most of these jobs are remote, and that is very important. And they are way more remote than other tech jobs. So I don't know about you, but personally, I really like this because this means that you can make a six-figure salary and live somewhere else in the world where it's much cheaper. This is what I've been doing for a lot of years. This is what a lot of my students have been doing. And so you can, by doing this, this is a giant cost arbitrage, and you can save so much more money than, for example, if you stayed in the US with very high cost of living. Okay, so that was basically the job market for Solidity. And next, I want to focus on the roadmap that you need to follow to learn Solidity. Okay, so once again, here we'll focus on Solidity because that is the most valuable skill that you can learn. It's also possible to build full stack blockchain applications, so including the front end, but then that forces you to learn a new skill, which is front-end development with JavaScript and React, which is also in demand, but it's not as this skill is not as rare as Solidity. So it's very smart, I believe, to say, you know what, I'm just doing Solidity and all this front-end stuff, and I don't want to hear about it. All right, so here these are really the three technology that you will need to learn. So first, you need to understand the basics of the Ethereum blockchain. So how does it work? What are the rules of the protocol? Then you need to understand the Solidity programming language. So that's this language that runs smart contract, the small program that are in the blockchain. And then you will need to test smart contract with a framework like Foundry, because this is very important to test your code before you deploy it, because with a smart contract, it's not possible to update them, or at least not easily. So testing is super important. Usually you have way more tests than the line of code of your smart contract. In the past, there were a couple of frameworks that were fashionable. So first one was Truffle, then there was Hot, and nowadays this is another one that is called Foundry that is super powerful, and so you have to be proficient in this one. All right, so now let's get a little bit more in detail. So you need to know, when I talk of Ethereum, you need to know the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. So that's the part of the Ethereum blockchain that runs your smart contract. And this is very different from any other execution environment. So you cannot really compare it to other programming language. This is really unique. And actually, very few candidates know the EVM well. And, you know, in a job interview, you will get eliminated very quickly if you fail that. Solidity language, as I said, you need to know the different pattern for Solidity. So there are different patterns that we reuse across smart contracts, and you need to know them. Smart contract testing, as I mentioned. Yield and gas optimization. So yield, this is basically a sort of low-level language for smart contract. If you've never seen it, it can look really cryptic, but you need to know it, at least to pass job interviews. Gas optimization. So this is a technique that allows you to make your smart contract more efficient so that they don't cost so much money to the user, and you need to do this. You need to know some direct application of smart contracts. So we need to know what we can do in DeFi, in NFT, and in DAO. And if possible, you need to know the code of some real life smart contract. You need to be able to explain them. Not all of them, but there are a couple of them that are very important that you need to know. So those are the main thing. Oh yeah, and here I forgot one thing in my presentation. You also need to know about smart contract security, because when you deploy a smart contract, so usually they have a lot of money in them, and this is like a honeypot for hackers. And so you really need to make sure that there will not be any bug, because otherwise all your users are going to lose money, and this is going to be terrible. Okay, so all of this is nice, but now the big question is, how can you make money with Solidity? How can you monetize your skills? And there are many different choices here. So let's see the details. So first, you can be an employee. You can work as a full-time Solidity developer, and most of you will probably choose this path. So you can get a high salary, get a remote job. Work is super interesting in general. So this is the standard path. But there are other possibilities. You can also work as a freelance. And actually, this is great to get started. If you want to have more independence, there are plenty of freelance job for Solidity on websites like Upwork, also some crypto job board, also sometimes have some freelance position available. So that is also a great option. You can also be an entrepreneur. You can just learn Solidity because you want to build your own project. So there are many ways to make money with Web3. You can build some services to help people build Web3 application. You can build your own dev agency to build a blockchain application. Um, and here, so those are the different ways that you can monetize your skill. But now let's talk a little bit more about the positioning, how you can define yourself as a blockchain dev. So you can be a full stack blockchain dev, as I mentioned before. So you do everything. You do the smart contract, but you also do the front end. That's interesting. A small project will be in demand for that, will demand that sort of skill, but that also means that usually the kind of salary you command for that is a little bit lower, and you kind of like spread your effort a little bit too thin in many directions, which I think is not necessarily the best strategy. Like, best strategy is to be hyper specialized in the thing that pay the most. So then strategy 2 would be to just be a Solidity dev, and this is what I recommend for most people. You can go really deep in Solidity. It looks simple like this, but actually you can be really, really specialized in this and know it very, very well. And then you can be a specialist of smart contract security. So this space is exploding at the moment. You have all these people who do smart contract audits. You might have heard of this. So those are people that check the Solidity code to make sure there is any bug. And this pays extremely well. Like, we are talking of a few $100,000. Some cases it can go up to 500, 600, $700,000 per year. Of course, this is not the salary of junior, but after a few years in the space, this is something that you could reach. You can be a specialist of gas optimization. So I know a few people that focus just off that. They set up some businesses where they just say, hey, you know what? I'm just doing gas optimization. And they also charge a shitload of money because they are highly, highly specialized. You can specialize yourself based on an application of the smart contract of a blockchain, so like DeFi, NFT, and you can actually combine this with other things. You can say, hey, you know what? I'm a Solidity dev specialized in DeFi. I'm a Solidity dev specialized in NFT. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention games. Also, games, big, big application of blockchain. And finally, you have MEV. So MEV are basically trading bots that you can build with your skill of blockchain developer. And so you can create some passive income like this, or you can work for trading firms that are looking for that kind of skill. So this is really what I love about blockchain development, is that you have so many ways to specialize and grow. But I really recommend to get started with Solidity Dev, because this is going to be the foundation of everything else. Everything depends on that. All right. So let's say that, okay, so here, let me scroll in my notes. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, so here, how to apply to jobs. So you have many ways to apply to job. So this is valid both if you want to work as an employee or as a freelance. You have many job boards. One of the main ones, Crypto Job List. You have Web3 Career. You have LinkedIn. You have Indeed. So the really classic job board. And you also have the freelance platform that I mentioned, like Upwork. So this is more for freelance, not for full-time jobs. And another element, if you want to monetize your skill, is to build your portfolio of projects. So basically, you want to showcase on your GitHub a couple of professional projects that you've done, and you don't have to say that you did those projects in tutorials. You can make them pass as like professional project if you want. That's more effective. You can contribute to open source. There are plenty of blockchain projects, but the problem is like unless you are an experienced dev already, open source can be pretty hard for beginners. So I wouldn't recommend this if you have a limited experience. Networking is always a very efficient way to find job or freelance gigs. So to network, the absolute best is to go to in-person events like conference, meetups, etc. But you can also network online by going in some online communities like Discord, like being present on social media. Uh, and your personal branding is also super important. This is what I've been doing myself with my channel, Eat the Blocks, and with my LinkedIn profile. And basically the way you do this is by talking about technical topics, and then you let the algorithm surface your content, and hopefully this is going to help you meet some potential employers. And I know it sounds difficult, but it works. We are in 2024. Social media matters a lot. um, all right, so now you know the most important, or almost, because I could just stop here and say, all right, well, now you have your strategy, and so now you are going to go and learn Solidity by yourself, and that's it. But the problem, let's be honest here, is if I did this, many of you will just say, yeah, cool presentation, bro, but you're probably not going to do anything. Or maybe you're going to check out some free course somewhere, you're going to follow for 1 hour or two, and that's it. But I wanted to be a little bit more helpful than this. So here, that is why I will introduce you my Solidity Bootcamp that allow you to do everything I've said before, but much faster, much easier in 1 month. So with this Solidity Bootcamp, you can become a Solidity professional in 1 month. You are going to acquire a rare, in-demand skill. You are going to be able ultimately to make 6 figures. So I don't promise that you're going to find a 6-figure job in just 1 month. Of course, that's too short. But depending on your profile, it can happen either between 3 months to 6 months. This is roughly the timeline that I've seen. And so for the people who are a little bit more experienced, it's doable to do it in 3 months. People who are completely new, they can start with freelance project, and in 6 months after, they can leverage those freelance projects and find their job. By the way, when I got my first 6-figure job in blockchain, I was a newbie, okay? I just had maybe 1 year of experience as a dev, but for crypto, I was a complete newbie, okay? And many of my students, that was the case as well. With this bootcamp, you will be able to work remotely. And you will be able to create your own blockchain project. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't want to work for somebody, that is also one of the outcome of the bootcamp. And yeah, so when it will start. So that will be from February 26 to March 21. It's 1 hour 30 per day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and so 8 a.m. Pacific time. Then you have the rest of the time here. So we have students from all over the world. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can. This is an online bootcamp, so you can follow it. We're going to cover for the EVM. We're going to do a deep dive, okay? We're going to cover advanced solidities, not the basic tutorial that you find everywhere on YouTube, but I'm talking of really advanced stuff that is going to challenge you, that is going to set you apart from the competition. We're going to see advanced testing. So this is super important again, because you're going to be tested on this in job interviews. We're going to cover yield and gas optimization. We're going to cover real life smart contracts. So we're gonna do a deep dive into some existing smart contract and understand how they work so that you can apply your knowledge to something that actually exists and it doesn't just remain theoretical. And okay, and I'm also going to cover what is a professional development process. And so that is so interesting. Like usually students, this is one of their favorite part of the bootcamp because we're gonna go way deeper than what you see on YouTube, on different tutorial here and there, because what you see usually is like a very simplified version so that you can understand. But here in this bootcamp, I'm going to show you exactly what kind of tools you will use when you work for a blockchain company, okay? And this is very, very different from like the simple stuff that you know. This is some tools that you've never seen before. This is the whole process, and you have to be very rigorous. You have to follow this process if you want to be a pro. And so we're going to see all of this together. All right. So in terms of technology, we're going to cover Ethereum because this is where you have the most jobs, Solidity, and Foundry, and everything is up to date. Okay. So this is not recorded videos. These are live sessions. So everything is fresh, is up to date, contrary to most of the other tutorials that are instantly outdated out there. We're going to have code reviews, okay? So that is something that our students love. So you're going to have homework to do. And for those of homework, I'm going to give you feedback, okay? And that is so valuable because this is not like a passive learning, which is very inefficient. With video course, you have always this passive learning where you don't learn anything. Here, you're going to be challenged. You're going to have to do some exercise and you're going to get some feedback. So you will know when you do a mistake or when you do something well, and that's how you can learn so much faster, so much efficiently. Right? You're gonna have access to the recording of the live classes, of course. And you're gonna have access to a private Discord where you can ask any question you want, and we are very, very reactive on this. And you're gonna get also included a review of your CV, LinkedIn, and GitHub, and that is just so important because with this, you are going to we are going to make you so much more attractive. Okay, that's a little bit like if before going out to a bar, you do a haircut and you buy new clothes. Okay, you become so much more attractive, right? So this is exactly the same thing, but for finding a blockchain job. Because there are many people who really are struggling to find a blockchain job, but their online profile are just so lame. Like this is obvious that if you don't put enough attention there, this is never going to work. So we're going to give you a professional feedback on that. Okay, so now let's talk of the price. And before we even talk of the price, let's talk of the value that is in this bootcamp. So the core curriculum, the value that is offered, we could easily charge 3,000 for that. If you check out other bootcamp, you will see this is what they charge. Code review, this is a lot of manual process from professional developers. So if we charge by the hour, we could easily charge another 3K. The lecture recording, another 250. The lifetime access to our Discord community with support, another 250. Customized review of CV, this is also something that we could add 500. So in terms of value, I'm very confident in saying that we should charge 7,000. Now, I know that not everybody can afford this, so I promise you a surprise for everybody that comes to this live stream, and I didn't lie because we can make it available to you for 650 only. And with this investment, you set yourself to have a six-figure job down the line. There are 30 seats only, so it's first come, first serve. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to maintain the quality of our bootcamp. So if we have too many people, it's impossible for us to give a code review to everybody. It's impossible to give you enough support. Okay, so if you want to register for this bootcamp, what you have to do is follow this link, eattheblocks.com slash bootcamp. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me see. Yeah, this is in the chat, so you can click on it. And let me continue the press. So yeah, just some context about Eat the Block. So we had more than 50,000 students. We started in 2017. So we were basically the first one to teach blockchain. And I wanted to share with you some feedback from students because I want to show you that our method works. So here we have one of the students that got a Solidity job in 2 months as a DeFi engineer. So nice success story. Someone else who tried to learn Solidity with Udemy courses but didn't get it because there was no ongoing help. And when he did the Eat the Blocks bootcamp, he finally got it. So that's also, we're very proud of that. Then someone else who find his first Solidity job. Here, someone who got 2 job offer from employers. So someone else who also found a blockchain job at Bioeconomy. This is a big blockchain company. We also have students who created their own blockchain project, like this student from Microsoft. We have students who raise money, like this student who built this project, FutureSwap, raised $1 million. This other student who created Secure Finance, he raised several $1 million, even bigger project. This is basically an API for blockchain dev. And yeah, and we also have other students' testimonial in video. So you will find this if you click on eattheblocks.com/bootcamp. So these are students who just attended the bootcamp. So this is fresh testimonial. Okay. And so the big question is, will you be our next success story? So if you want this to happen, register for our next bootcamp. We have only 30 seats available. So now a couple of questions. So we're going to do the Q&A, but very, very quickly, let's address some common questions. So does the Solidity Bootcamp cover everything you need to become a Solidity developer? So yes, you will have all the knowledge necessary, so you don't need to take anything else. How much time do you need to follow the bootcamp? So this is 1 hour 30 per live class, and we have 4 of them in the week, plus the time to do the homework. So depending on how fast you are, it's going to be between 8 to 10 hours per week. Then, and this is over 1 month. How long does it take to find a job as a Solidity dev? So if you already have a few years of experience as a dev, it can take you 3 months. And if you are a complete newbie, it can take you a little bit longer, roughly around 6 months. But most students, they are somewhere between 3 to 6 months. Can we find a job as a junior Solidity developer? Yeah. So you have to start somewhere, and they are Solidity job. So those jobs, they are not always available on crypto job board, but there are other ways to find them, and this is also something that I will explain more in detail in the bootcamp. But yeah, people have to start somewhere. Me, I started as a junior dev. A lot of my students, they started as junior dev. So companies just like tend to always exaggerate, say, hey, we want a blockchain dev with like 20 years of experience, even though Ethereum was created 10 years ago. So don't be intimidated, like you can make it. What are the prerequisites to take the bootcamp? So you just need to have a few months of experience in programming. So I don't want you to be a complete newbie that know nothing, but if you just have a few months and you've been studying programming for a few months, you just know the very basics, we can take you. So we really don't need much, really. And if you hesitate, if you're a complete newbie and you still want to take the bootcamp and you hesitate, just shoot me an email. I will Julian at eattheblocks.com. bootcamp.com. All right. So you can shoot me an email there. All right, so will you get some help if you are stuck in the bootcamp? Yeah, so you will get a lot of support in the Discord community, and also with when you submit your homework, we're going to give you some feedback. If you're not happy with the program, so we have a 7 days refund policy, no question asked. So up to 7 days after you purchase, you can get refunded 100%, so you don't take any risk. And that's it. So if you want to register, eattheblocks.com/bootcamp, we have 30 seats only. And I can see that we already have a couple of sales coming. So usually we are full after a couple of days. So I would recommend to register as soon as possible. All right. So now we're going to do the Q&A. So I'm going to scroll up and see all the questions we have. All right. So Bob Murugan, excited to work on blockchain tech in 2024. Awesome. Bliss of Kundalani. Hey, Julian, I'm learning as a blockchain dev, currently working as Web2 dev. I finally want to transition full-time. Why is it so hard to find a position? Well, it's very difficult to answer like this, but I would say you probably don't have, it's a combination of you not having the right expertise, and maybe you not presenting yourself in an optimal way. And we can help you with this in our bootcamp. Then all right. What else we have? What else we have? Then Zaki, yeah, I've been in the crypto space since 3 years and I have zero coding knowledge. I'm from a low background. How long will it take me to learn coding to be a Web3 dev? Where to start? So we can get you started with Ethereum. So we're going to teach you the blockchain, how the blockchain works first, and then we're going to start with the Solidity language. So very simply. And we have students who attended the bootcamp with very limited coding background, and they were able to follow. And we can provide you with extra help if you need it. All right, let's keep going. I want to work at Chainlink. Should I start with their position at community manager? So I'm doing technical position in blockchain, so I can't really advise you with this. But usually if you, the kind of skill that will set you apart the most from others are technical skills. The problem with all those positions like community manager, social media, etc., is that those are skills that are much more widespread, and so your competition is going to be so much bigger. So that's why I believe it's really worth it to invest in a technical skill. We didn't is asking, is it still in demand? Yes, Solidity is still in demand. It's actually more in demand now that the bull market has started. Constantine, is it hard to combine Web 2 and Web 3, or is it better to focus on Web 3? So I would just focus on Web 3 really. Then I'm a decent React developer. I have experience with Solidity and front-end. Should be possible to get a job. There are tons of projects out there. Yeah. If you have other skills, it will always help you. But I do recommend to just zoom in on Solidity. All right. Then what else we have? How to transition from web dev, C#, .NET, React to crypto. So you focus on smart contract programming. That is the most valuable skill, and this is what we do in the bootcamp. Totaling ARC. Good morning, Julian. Hey, man. All right. Then, yes, Foundry is very good. You can also write your test in Solidity. I love it. Okay. Yes, I would love a full-time Solidity job. Yes, you can do it. I fund, so Box25 is saying, I funded my DeFi project with profit I made from MEV extraction arbitrage. Congrats, man. This is awesome. Left my really great job in one of the biggest German trading floor to fully commit to my DeFi project and never regret it. Wow, great story. Love it. All right. Uh, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So then we are always looking for people working on ice cream swap with us, but as we are bootstrap, it's more learning together and building together. Okay, so it seems like already we have some people who will find it, their first blockchain job just with this stream. So you see, this is amazing. I mean, the bull market is back, guys. I'm telling you. All right. Do we need, Yannick, do we need special cloud and DevOps skills certification to audit smart contract project? At the moment, there aren't any such certification. So no, I don't see any certificate. DevOps skill, not necessarily the most useful. However, it's good that you're already a dev. That will definitely speed up the process. Constantine, there are more opportunities in Solidity or Rust. Solidity, definitely. All right. Rust, someone saying Rust is used for Solana. Yes, yes. So there is like a small ecosystem for Solana, but yeah, it's like just a little bit too small. THX, hey man, good to see you. All right, let's keep going. Yannick, so what is honestly required to follow the best bootcamp? React, TypeScript, Next.js? No, forget all of this. This is Web2 stuff. So just focus on Web3 and blockchain. And this is what we do in the Solidity Bootcamp. No need to waste time with other things. Let's get straight to blockchain. All right, as he's saying, I thought the masterclass was at 147. So the masterclass is an old video course that I have, but it's outdated and I don't sell it anymore. Now we only do a bootcamp. Madrick, hi Julian, is there more Solidity bootcamp after April? So there will be other bootcamp. This being said, each bootcamp will be more expensive than the previous one because we are still very far from the target price that I like to reach with this bootcamp. So I would recommend really to join as soon as possible because it will be more expensive later. And also, the bull market is coming fast. It has already started. So the later you are in the cycle, the more competitive it's going to be. So you want to get started as soon as possible. Okay, then another question, focusing on smart contract security, what are the skills besides to focus more on the front end while learning this? So I don't recommend to focus on the front end, just focus on smart contract. And you mentioned security especially. So start with Solidity because there are many guys who go in smart contract security but don't know much about Solidity, and as a result, it's very difficult for them to understand what smart contract do. So I would do things in order and really do Solidity first. Aziz, will there be any certification after the bootcamp? Yeah. Usman, how long will it take for a newbie without programming knowledge to become an expert in Solidity and smart contracts? So in our bootcamp is 1 month. So if you don't take any help, if you just learning by yourself, it can take easily 6 months or more. If you get some help, you can significantly speed up the process. And so this is what we do in our bootcamp. In 1 month, we will turn you into a Solidity programming. If you follow the bootcamp, of course, because we have a lot of things to do inside. All right. So as a reminder, if you guys want to follow the bootcamp, what you have to do is go to eattheblocks.com/bootcamp, and I'm going to show you what to do to buy it. Okay, so let me see. Let me see. So you go to eattheblocks.com/bootcamp, and you scroll down, click on enroll today here, enroll now, all right? And after, you're gonna reach this page, okay, and here you're gonna get the early bird discount. So you see we already have one person who took the bootcamp. So here and here you enter your credit card detail, and yeah, and then basically you are going to pay like this. All right. Okay, guys. So that's pretty much it. So yeah. So if there is no more question, we are going to stop here. Right. So thanks everybody for attending the bootcamp and for attending the live stream, sorry, and I will see you in the bootcamp. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.